Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Black Market Ivan, and I am from the Scheduled for One Fall wrestling podcast crew in Chicago, Illinois, United States of America. And today I have a very fun list for you. As we all know, New Japan Pro Wrestling and CMLL, otherwise known as Consejo Mundial de Lucha Libre, they share talent, right? They exchange talent. You'll have a young lion, which is the equivalent of a not pre-NXT, but the WWE Performance Center, right? A young lion will be something along the lines of the WWE Performance Center talent going to another country to hone their skills, to sharpen their blade, so to speak. And after those few months, after that year, they come back home, they're ready for the big time. So, I'm thinking, right, 2019, you're going to have the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, Marty Scurll, Hangman Page. Rumor has it they will not be in New Japan anymore. They're going to be doing their own thing with All Elite Wrestling. So you're going to have this huge hole in New Japan, right? This big gap. And also, you've got Los Ingobernables, of de Japón coming up to the forefront, right? You just had a huge victory in the World Tag League. You've got a lot of high-profile matches for Wrestle Kingdom 13. Almost definitely including Tetsuya Naito taking the Intercontinental title from Chris Jericho. So you're going to need a high-profile feud for LIJ in 2019. So today's list, I thought we'd have fun with this one. Top 10 Latin American pro wrestlers that should perform in New Japan in the year 2019. Okay, now by Latin American, I am talking Mexico, Puerto Rico, all of South America, anywhere you can think of that would be considered Latin American. And me being of Latin American descent, this list hits home for me. Of course, I'm excluding the Rey Mysterios, the Ray Phoenix, Penta Jr. I'm excluding all the guys that are already in, knee deep in a contract or in a storyline, right? I'm talking mostly indie talent or folks who have taken a back seat in the last few years. So, number 10. This is going to be a controversial one right off the bat. Mil Máscaras, okay? This guy is a legend. He is a WWE Hall of Famer. Mil Máscaras has been around forever. He's 74 years old. What do I think he can do in Japan? Well, if I'm telling you that I think that there should be a big Latin American presence in New Japan Pro Wrestling, who better than this legend, than this trendsetter, than someone who inspired, all these charismatic, theatrical wrestlers of the 70s, 80s, 90s, and today, than Mil Máscaras. And so I'm thinking Mil Máscaras should come out and manage younger talent, maybe even have a fifth stable in New Japan that's all Latin American talent. Mil Máscaras, I think that would be great. It'd be huge. And Japan is all about respect. It's all about respecting your elders. I mean, he worked directly with Jushin Thunder Liger, Tiger Mask, the original Tiger Mask. So I think he would be well received, and it would be a pure babyface faction. I think that would be great. Number 2, I've got, once again, I'll start controversial, Alberto Del Rio or Alberto Del Patron. Okay, we all know the last we heard of ADR, he was blowing off Impact Wrestling. They gave him a huge shot. They made him world champion. They booked him for a show. He didn't show up. And I think there was some indie wrestling show a few weeks or months later that he blew off as well. So everyone's got this concept of him as having poor work ethic, of not being respectful to those who are hiring him. And that may be the case. But I think, here's what I think, okay? This guy's got money. He's got fame. I think he's got stocks in restaurants down in Mexico and his own wrestling company. The guy doesn't need to perform anymore. But I think if he wanted his swan song, his third and final act in the pro wrestling scene, he would come out, make a presence, not too dissimilar to what I'm talking about with Mil Máscaras, manage younger talent, or be that name recognition, be that big name that can come out and put over younger talent. I think Alberto Del Rio / Alberto Del Patron would be great in New Japan for his third and final act as a performer. And that third and final act may last 10 years. Okay, I'm not saying he's about to finish his career, but I think that would be a great addition. Number 8, I've seen this guy in person. Viva Daniel has seen this guy in person. La Bestia del Ring. This guy is from CMLL. He is part of the original Ingobernables, and which we will get back to that. This guy is massive. He's huge, and he has a huge LI tattoo on his chest. Guys, you all know from listening to the show that Patrick Pryor and I are the biggest advocates for Katsuya Kitamura, the Japanese Brock Lesnar as we call him. We're the biggest advocates for this guy. We want him to come back. We want him to be a main eventer in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Who better than the Beast of the Ring to come back and face off with him? If he debuted, right, at the same time as Kitamura coming back and saying, I'm back, I'm in better shape than ever, and I want to face someone good, someone worthy, and this guy comes out from Mexico with still this huge name recognition, I think it'd be amazing. So La Bestia del Ring, I think would be awesome. Next we've got Aerostar, another member of CMLL. Aerostar, I wrote some notes here. He's wrestled in PWG. He's wrestled against Bullet Club. He's wrestled against Brian Cage, everyone's favorite Brian Cage. Aerostar, if you look at him, he is the prototypical luchador. He's got a big futuristic Tron mask, one step removed from DJZ. This guy's a high flyer. He's fast, he's technical, he's amazing. He's been all over the world. Aerostar would be a great addition to the Super Junior division. And once again, I mean, he's the Japanese culture, they love the masks, right? They love that luchador look. Aerostar, definitely my number 7. Now number 6, we've got someone who was the original Sin Cara in WWE. That was called Místico. Now he's otherwise known just as Carístico, right? Young, charismatic, good-looking, muscular guy. He's been around the world. He's talented. He knows what's going on. He's getting up there in age, but he's got what it takes, right? He's got the knowledge. He's got that locker room presence. Once again, a lot of the younger guys could look up to him, and like I said, he brings that refined talent, that refined wisdom that he's picked up from promotions all around the world. So Carístico, formerly known as Sin Cara, formerly known as Místico, is my number 6. Number 5, a lot of folks, you may not know about this, all right? I went down to Puerto Rico, right? I grabbed someone from Puerto Rico. I've got a tag team here, JC Navarro and OT Fernandez, otherwise known as the franchise La Franquicia. La Franquicia, not Franquicia, right? Franquicia. No corrections, okay? I don't want corrections on my Spanish. OT Fernandez is currently in the World Wrestling Council, WWC, in Puerto Rico. JC Navarro is in WWL, World Wrestling League, okay? So they're this huge tag team, the franchise. They've split up. They are both running the show in their respective promotions. I think these guys need to reunite, make their presence felt in the New Japan Junior Tag League. These guys are awesome. OT Fernandez, JC Navarro, check them out. They've been all over the place. Number 4, I went back down to, not to Puerto Rico this time, I went a little further. I went to Brazil. I went to the Brazilian Wrestling Foundation. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's Foundation, not Federation. Brazilian Wrestling Federation, Vitor Boer, right? And my Portuguese may not be on point, but Vitor Boer, this guy would be the Cesar Bononi, right? The Shinsuke Nakamura. He is tall, he's rough, he's strong, right? He hits hard, okay? He would fill that gap that Shinsuke Nakamura left all these years ago. He would bring that hard-hitting MMA style to Japan and really take their strong style one step further. Actually, I researched what his name would be in Portuguese. If he was the king of strong style, they would call him El Rei do Estilo Forte, king of strong style. So I'm coining that term for him, all right? So Vitor Boer from BWF. And by the way, YouTube his name. YouTube Vitor Boer, and his finishing move, the running single leg front drop kick. If you do not feel like you're watching a clip from Mortal Kombat 11 when you see this move, tell me, correct me if I'm wrong. This guy is talented. Number 2, I don't think I even need to say anything about this guy, Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee has already been performing in New Japan during tournaments, right? He was at the Best of the Super Juniors. Big name, very talented. I think he was an Impact wrestler. He's been all over. Everyone knows Dragon Lee. He's amazing. He's great. He's talented. He's my number 2 pick to be in New Japan in a more permanent, capacity, maybe with a high-profile feud with Zack Sabre Jr. or Will Ospreay. Number 1. I'm going to close the book. I'm going to throw it down. Number 1, Rush, or you may call him in Spanish, Rush, the leader, the founder, or at least the modern-day founder of Los Ingobernables. Not de Japón, just Los Ingobernables. We mentioned La Bestia del Ring earlier. This is the leader, okay? This guy is fast, he's talented, he's technical. Also very strong style. Imagine, okay? This guy, imagine you've got Tetsuya Naito, all right? You've got the rest of LIJ. You've got potentially the returning Tanahashi if his injury, clears up. You've got all of LIJ on top of the world in 2019, and suddenly you hear the Los Ingobernables music. Rush comes out. You don't know. They don't know. The fans don't know. Is this guy coming out to join LIJ or to proclaim his leadership of the crew that has all that gold in the ring? Not too dissimilar to Cody and Kenny Omega all through 2018 of who is the true leader of the Bullet Club. So Rush or Rush is my number 1 pick for the top 10 Latin American pro wrestlers that should perform in New Japan Pro Wrestling in the year 2019. If you guys have any other wrestlers, performers that you'd like to mention in there, if you are a Latin American pro wrestler that you'd like to shout yourself out in the comments, go ahead. Otherwise, if you have any corrections or opinions on anything I may have said wrong, pronounced incorrectly, leave those opinions on this email address. Send them right to this email address, and I'll make sure they are treated accordingly. Otherwise, I will see you guys for the next list of the week. Go to scheduleforonefall.com. For the rest of the team, my name is Black Market Ivan. Stay high tech and low life.